And we're back. I said there'd be a part 2 to this Let's Play someday, and now here it is, finally. I'm sure you've all just been sitting on the edges of your collective seats just waiting for this one. So in between episodes I figured out that you can just slide furniture instead of picking it up, so it can travel a bit faster that way. The other guy was able to dodge all of it effortlessly though, so I guess it didn't make too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So this guy is a Native American, obviously, and you see he turns into Gino and with his cool power move. And would you look at that, I dodged the whole thing without even trying. Maybe that's why they haven't put Gino in Smash Bros, because all of his moves are terrible. Even though that's not who the character was. I can hear your anger and your frustration in the comments already. How could you misidentify the character? The character you were thinking of was on a different system, released in a different generation, and made by a different company. That's just my impression of the fans. There really doesn't seem to be any consistency to how much damage that Spirit Bomb does. I don't know if it's like a percentage of the other player's health or what it is, because there's been times when it should have killed but didn't, and then others when it did three health bars in a row. I don't know where the line is. Or maybe it's actually just been doing the same thing every time and I'm just stupid. Yeah, I think that's also a possibility. So yeah, how you guys been doing? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the big characters can rip off the support beams of the stage and whack you with them. Our character couldn't do that, for example. He does not have the strength. Perhaps when he's powered up, though. I never thought to use it. So what else has been going on in the world? Been anything good on TV lately? I don't really watch a whole lot of TV anymore, so you guys gotta fill me in. Tell me what's going on Spike TV. I don't think Spike TV is actually a channel anymore. I think they replaced it with something else, didn't they? Or maybe I just dreamt that. I have to hold back for a second. Needed the yellow gem, but we had to wait for the bomb to go off first. Safety first, as they say. I guess watching all those safety Stegosaurus videos really paid off in the end. Hannibal Buress said, if Fuse is ever playing Power Stone and the yellow gem, this is fucking stupid. What am I talking about? God, this show sucks. But I still like making it, though. It's fun. For me, at least. It's the most fun you can possibly have when you're just one ordinary man sitting alone in front of a computer. As much fun as you can have. I'll watch videos of other Let's Players where they're in groups and I think, wow, those people seem to be having a good time. I could probably do that, and maybe I'll have a good time too, and then you forget that you're missing the one ingredient to the puzzle, and that's other people. So if, like you saw a second ago, this opponent's special powerful move was she turns into a Power Ranger of sorts. I was never huge into Power Rangers. I know when I was the prime age for that sort of thing, they were in the Wild Zords era, around like 2002, and I had this Wild Zords toy that you could build, and as a kid I was having trouble figuring out how to put it together, and so I got the idea in my head that I could watch the commercial, because the commercial for the toy had one of those things where they assemble the whole thing in like super fast forward, like just like 1 second and suddenly it's assembled, and like as a kid I thought I could follow along with the commercial, and once I actually tried to do that that did not go well. Well, it was funny at the time, at least. Well, it's still funny now. What the hell am I talking about? You see our character had a realistic handgun there? I feel like that item was put in the game to address all of the funny Let's Players who always saying, why can't they just use a gun? This would be over in 2 seconds if they did that. That's why they put this in here, even though Let's Plays weren't a thing when this game came out, and the internet was barely even a thing when this came out. I mean, it existed, but there was very little to do. When did Newgrounds officially kick off? Like 2000? I think that would have been around the same time as when this game came out. At least within the year. Wonder if there are any Power Stone videos, or perhaps Power Stone Flash games on old Newgrounds. I gotta check that out someday. It's been at least a few years since I last went there, but it's been many years since I actually went there regularly. That was a different time. I feel like Newgrounds is gonna make a comeback someday as all the crusty old boomers like me get tired of all the YouTube restrictions for cartoons, and so they go to Newgrounds instead because they've got cartoons there with fewer rules about no copyrighted music, no this, no that, do not use copyrighted characters and show them in an unflattering way. That's the reason why that one Oni video with the Leviosa that got taken down, because YouTube changed their policies, and even though the video had been up for over a decade and had like 50 million views, suddenly one day the YouTube admins decided that this doesn't meet the rules that didn't exist when it came out and originally. And it's a gosh darn travesty. I tell you what. How do you think Hank Hill would feel about restrictive YouTube policies if Hank Hill were an actual character, or an actual person? Well, he probably wouldn't care is the answer to that question. I don't think any adult really cares, honestly. So this next guy, Pirate McGee, so is he like a playable character? I don't know what I'm asking you for, but anyway, because he's not on the menu, but then at the same time, here he is, and he has his own unique moveset. So what's the deal with that?
What's the deal with pirates and Power Stone?
God, that was the cringiest thing I've said all day. Jesus Christ. Look at that. He doesn't care what your special move is. He just canceled it as it was going. That's just crazy. I thought this was the final boss at first because he had done something that had never happened in the game before by cancelling that special. But there's actually one character after him, so yeah. So his name is the Kraken. It's like this, should I even tell this story? There was some kind of a church youth event they did when I was a youth, and I didn't go to it, but I saw pictures on the church website later, and one of the youth leaders, they had a funny nickname, and they called themselves the Kraken, and I guess that's kind of funny, not really. I was never really involved with any of those goofy youth activities. It's just a bunch of Melvins, and would have felt really excluded, and it wouldn't have been a good time for me. I despise that kind of stuff. Anyway, but enough about me. Let's talk about Power Stone. Power Stone also came out in the arcades, and then there was a Power Stone collection that had this game, the second, and possibly any other spin-offs. And the Power Stone collection only came out on the PSP of all things, and it was never ported to anything else ever. I know very little about the PSP. Like the majority of people, I did not have one. I played a port of the PSP Kingdom Hearts and that that Kingdom Hearts collection from a few years ago, and it was decent. And there was some weirdness with the collection though, where even though it said it had 6 games in the collection, it was actually just 4, and 2 of the games weren't actually games, they were just cutscenes, and enlightened internet people were trying to justify the fact that 2 of the games were missing by saying that,
well, originally these were 3DS games and they would be in a bad resolution.
So that the argument seemed to be that we should just have nothing instead, and that's totally the right move to make. People on the internet certainly have wacky opinions on things. Okay, so just 2 health bars left to go on this guy. Hopefully I don't completely just ruin everything. Yeah, we're on a good pace here. We will defeat the Kraken. And speaking of Krakens, did you ever see Clash of the Titans? Not the good one that everyone likes, but the crappy 2010 one that was extremely forgettable. I remember when that came out, a buddy invited me to go see it, and that was the last movie we ever saw together. Looking back, I guess it was just that bad of a movie. It's unfortunate. So here's the secret final character. He looks very anime. His name's Valgus. Kinda sounds like a mispronunciation of Vargas. Remember Vargas, the funny Reddit commenter from back in the day? Is he still around? Whatever happened to him? I always enjoyed his colorful stories, though he could never tell where they were gonna go, and he'd talk about giving his granny a sponge bath on the front lawn, and who knew what that loony guy was gonna say? I don't think he's around anymore. Yeah, that hammer's a good weapon, huh? Not only does it stun your opponent, but it does almost a full bar worth of damage. Pretty crazy. That move is overpowered for a regular throw. Although he is the final boss, so that's understandable. And just like the meme, understandable. Have a great day. I should start saying that more. He's turning into a Bowser thing of sorts. What are we gonna do? Alright, well, when I was recording the footage, I started getting kinda bored once we got to this stage, so there won't be a part 3 to this Power Stone Let's Play. That's pretty much the end of it, but I think you get the gist.